Hi, pleasant good morning. This is ACT and The Voice. I am Sheldon here with the voice of the people, and the people have spoken. They wanted some clarity on the traffic plan in San Fernando. So to provide that clarity and remove any cloud of doubt or confusion as a result of traffic plan, we have with us the Mayor of San Fernando, Mayor Junior Regrello. Thank you very much. A pleasant good morning to you, sir. And thank you for accommodating ACT and The Voice, and more so the people of San Fernando, who, as I said, let's remove the clouds of confusion surrounding the traffic plan. People want to get some clarity, so we're here today. So if we are starting off our tour at the top of what people know as Short Street, San Fernando. Now, before, you used to come from High Street and you come on to Point Road, but now it has, as you see this car coming here, it's now in the reverse. Mayor, can you tell us, please, why this decision was taken overall, and then we get to the point of Short Street?
Right. So it's to get easy access into the central part of the city. What previously existed that you use there as a shortcut to get out of the city, but you're going to work at peak hours. At peak hours is to get into the city. Your priority will be to get to work, to get to school, to be on time, and punctuality and productivity by extension. So what you decided is to change the direction of this traffic. Let me give an example. With the new traffic plan, you come in from Bistabella, Marabella, surroundings, Point of Pay area, and you're going to drop a child off to school, which is Harris Promenade, St. Gabriel's, and more boys' houses to do the convent. Then you don't have to make the entire library corner and go around as previously existed. You go down Short Street, you exit on High Street, and you make the left by Republic Bank, library corner, and proceed to any of the churches, any of the institutions on Harris Promenade, whether it's Boys House, whether it's City Hall, whether it's the Supreme Court, the Magistrate Court, the police station, the hospital. This is easy access. You don't have to go around and deal with the navigating the library corner with the taxi stands and different things like that. So this to me makes a lot more sense, and particularly for parents who drop in children off the Boys RC in particular. Do not go around library corner. Use Short Street, exit the High Street, make the right by library corner by the Republic Bank, and go on the promenade and do your drop off.
This Short Street has truly been a blessing, but I also realize by what you've done here, I know there was an issue with vendors on the street itself.
On the street itself, as you can see, and there's one lane of traffic now. We have had discussion with the Marabella taxi drivers yesterday evening, and they're suggesting that we make it a no parking zone. That will be considered. I know most of the cars parked there are people who work in the stores as clerks, as the case may be. So, and in the absence of parking, there are nowhere to park. There may be some sort of accommodation. I think that if the cars park on the extreme left,
that's what we're seeing here,
right now, but make sure you're on the extreme left, then the cars can park. We just need one lane. So that requires some kind of accommodation and further dialogue.
Okay, well, we're going to keep pressing on because, again, there's some other questions I want to ask you, but it's in relation to other parts of the traffic plan. So I want to get that in the visual. Yeah.
Here and see how it will look.
All right, so we're going to actually go down Short Street now, and you're going to actually see how the route is going to work for the passenger, well, for anyone who is making access into San Fernando. So let's go. So, Mayor, while we walk, I just want to let's talk briefly about building codes. And in terms of San Fernando, I know that is a concern in the Chaguanas area, but do you have to deal with that similar nightmare in the San Fernando area when it comes to building codes and buildings, of course, encroaching, to want a better term, on where they're supposed to be free traffic from, where, of course, the road's supposed to be located?
Encroaching and land grabbing. Because you're looking at the pavement area here, we've seen two challenges here. Where the pavement ends here, then you can go all the way up, which provides a walkway for pedestrians. And you're looking on the opposite side of what is happening there. This is rather peculiar. And I'll have to ask a couple of questions about this extension here, because it doesn't add up. If you look at the pavement coming down, coming down from High Street there's a pavement there, and then it stops here. And then there's some clear encroachment from this company in terms of how they occupy the space here. So this seems to have some challenges which we'll have to investigate.
All right. And also, again, as we're walking down, the mayor indicated that he may really have to consider making here a no parking zone in light of, then there's the size of vehicles, again, because of the fact that you have the pavement stopping, wider vehicles now will not be able to have access from Point Road to High Street San Fernando, delivery vehicles as well, which may be wider as well. So these are things to consider.
And what you have to look at as well, though, pedestrians should also use shortcut as a shortcut to get the High Street. Now the vendors are now occupying the entire pedestrian lane, which is the walkway, where there are cuts. And if they want some sort of a blast, as we say in local balance, to accommodate them, then they can't block the free passageway. So if you're coming down here, you have to walk on the street and you have to navigate the vehicles coming down this way. This has to also be curtailed and stopped. So let's proceed.
All right, no problem.
How these things happen? Where were the all right, the consent and approval is given, you know? So is San Fernando a lawless place? How did that happen? So we walk in here. Where do we walk? Let's continue walking. Look at the pavement. Let's continue walking. We are on the pavement. Young lady, where want to park? Where are you park? I just walk into a cut there. If you do business in an organized way, so at least the pedestrians can pass, right? But we're not doing that. Look at it on the other side. You see on the other side, you block up the entire walkway. And when we enforce the law, you get angry with us.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we will just put the cut to the back there, okay?
I want to go and put it back there.
No, you can put it there, it will be there.
I want to go and put it back there.
No, I will not.
Sometimes what you find here that they have these same vendors put the cuts here, right? Which creates a whole problem and a bottleneck coming up here.
Because now vehicles don't have enough room to lock to come out and give room for other vehicles to pass.
And let's walk down by Cloud.Nine Center, which is another critical exit area. A bus stop here, right? For the bus. If you pass back here about lunchtime, there'll be cuts all in the road here, with the street vendors. So you park up this vehicle, it's running. You don't know where he is. Now, I mean, there are two lanes. Once there are two lanes, but this should be the lay-by for stopping off and picking up, and which also involves taxis.
All right, so right now we are here at Carlton Center, or the entrance, and this is another serious problem whereby it's supposed to be a point where you pull aside here and you drop off, but that's not what happens most times. So Mayor, can you explain what we have to deal with here?
But you see clearly is a loading bay and an area marked off for parking. If the taxis will pull here and stop and allow to do the shopping to go into that, but they don't do that, they stop right there. But this guy is here, stop in the middle of the road, come out, and that creates a backup all the way down the road there. And that's the problem. This is the loading bay, and any loading. So there comes a cart with a grocery. Now she'll normally come out here and park up here, and the taxi will stop right there, and this goes into the car, and that's the problem. Right?
I've seen that many times, in all honesty, whereby they bypass the loading bay as though it cannot be seen. Maybe we should, maybe we should just paint it in a bright pink or something. Maybe they might see it. I don't know. Oh my God! It is a cultural shift. Yeah.
Or even here, you pull here and you could do it, pick it up. Right? See those boxes there? All these are the vendors. All those things there are the vendors hiding somewhere in a corner there. So as we leave here, they come back right here. This is vending equipment here. Yeah. So the time we move, they come back out. Right? And this is where the car is supposed to pull aside. This is where in the absence of this, the taxis have no choice sometimes, but it's still on the outside there. So vending really is a challenge for us.
Now, some of them would say, may I see it through my eyes as well, look into my heart, see exactly what I'm going through. But I know there have been plans as well to assist vendors in terms of putting them in one strategic location, but that has continued as well to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, they want to be here. Now, these store owners are paying taxes to the city. They're employing people. They're paying to the various institutions, whether it's TNTech, whether it's TSTT. They're also contributing to the economy. right? We don't know what these vendors are doing because, again, look at the example I'm talking about, right? No, we are standing this car supposed to be on the side here, right? This will cause another congestion. You now have one lane there because of this, right? Now, it is unfair to the bona fide store owners who employing people, who paying taxes, and you have somebody selling the same commodity that they have in the store. And they can probably sell at a cheaper price, if they do. And so that is the challenge we have. And the store owners are complaining to us, and we cannot continue. So what do we do?
So what do we do, Mayor? I know I know there have been plans in the past to put them in one location. Is that something that is still being discussed with the possibility of implementing sooner than possible?
You right? Good, very good. Very, very good. Good.
Yeah, so what about those plans about having...
we will try to assist. We're going to meet with the vendors at some point of our conversation and see if we could provide a space for them as best we can do. But this will be a no-no. We're not waiting until Christmas to deal with this. We're dealing with it now. As we introduce this traffic plan and to get it to flow and to be effective, we need the space. Particularly here. This is a no vending zone. I find a lot of space, right? It has to be a no vending zone.
So as soon as we pull off, they're going to pull in.
Yeah, pull in, yeah.
They're going to pull in with their boxes and yeah. So, oh my goodness.
Responsible for the congestion on High Street, the vending.
Yeah. A few times that I would have come up High Street, I would have seen that. So everybody clear out.
This is another vending point again.
Yeah. Actually, particularly right on the curb right here, you find a lot of vendors are there.
So the cuts will come out by about midday, and all you see on the side street there, we'll take all this corner here, right? Everything that you see there, right? All that will come around the side street and on that corner there, which makes it difficult for the vehicles to come out. Right, going partner? So this vehicle have to go all over there and narrow where there's a free entrance or another lane. Right? They will have to know to go around the corner because the cuts will be all here and that corner as well.
But Mr. Mayor, now what we see happening here, and it is no fault of the police service, it seems to be a game of cat and mouse that is being played here with. So that's what I'm asking, because you all can't keep playing this cat and mouse hide and seek game when it comes to the management of the city. So how do we put now a permanent problem? We can't keep looking at cosmetic solutions to deal with something that's a deep sore.
Obvious shortage of manpower, and both the municipal police and the TTPS, there's a shortage. Our strength is supposed to be 54 officers. We have 19 to manage the city. That is inadequate. That is difficult, or that's almost impossible. Those panel vans you see there, right? Most of them are the vendors' panel vans, right? So they have the stuck up the vans. They also congest the city with those vehicles. Those vans on this side there, those vans on this side there, they belong to the vendors. So they have the vehicles right there and the restock and the reload as the case may be. So it's congestion left, right, and center at every possible angle. So this
has a note. I know I've had this discussion before. I knew you've been short-staffed for quite some time. Even under the former mayor, he had the same concern. Has there been any discussions with cabinet and Tim taking a note to deal with this issue once and for all? Because this number 19 has been ringing in my head for quite a while. I've been hearing that number for quite a while. So what is going to be done?
There are some remedial matters approached, I should say, because the officers are in training as we speak. They had exams a while ago, and there are quite a number of officers who are going through the process. The various testing, they ascertain the background and checks and all those things. That's being done as we speak. There's also a batch in barracks as well. They'll be coming out in a month time or so.
Let's see them on the streets at least just before Christmas, the Christmas season.
We are hopeful. We are hopeful.
And what's the penalty? If let's say, what's the penalty in terms of if you found with illegal vending? What's the penalty? And do you believe that it is stringent enough at this time?
Well, what the penalty is, you have to be arrested. Your goods will be seized and considered unredeemable, and if it's food stuff is destroyed some way and you lose it.
And again, and the thing is, I think people need to understand as well. It's not about being harsh, but it's about respecting each other. Because I don't think I'll be honest. At least I'm thinking from my perspective. I don't think it is any officer wakes up with this joy and a skip in his heart to come and tear people away from their livelihood. But again, it is, if we don't work with each other, we are working against each other. You know.
Well, one of the issues here, a lot of these people are not from San Fernando. So that's another discussion. I mean, if we have a responsibility to provide for your citizens, they're not from San Fernando. Some of them are even foreigners. So they apply this trade and they go from zone to zone. It is illegal, and doesn't matter here. It is illegal. There's no to and about this. So there's no, what can we do? We can't have any discussion with them because it's illegal. You know. So, and it contributes to traffic congestion as well. It impedes the free passageway because if we're not here, the pedestrians have to walk in the streets. Where else we're walking there right now, right?
Which happens a lot because there have been occasions where this entire pavement will be blocked up, and you are forced.
Colin broke her leg last year. This lady here.
Yes, hi.
Colin broke her leg.
Hi, can you tell us about your experience on High Street that you had to? Well, I will let you speak.
But I was walking at the RRM Plaza. It was raining. And I slipped, I fell down the entire flight of stairs. They had a lot of moss and stuff on the staircase, and my hand was broken, and I have a cast for almost 2 months.
What about walking on High Street or walking on High Street is difficult based on your experience?
I think with the vendors, sometimes they block up the passageway and I'm unable to pass. So
this might force you now. This might force you now to another side of the street, of course, which I gather.
One day with someone with a bag with cigarettes and sweets, and they were there, so I had to go on the inside for them to walk. Yeah.
Anything came out? Well, anything came out of that?
No, nothing is there, but my lawyers will be addressing the managers of the mall. Yeah.
Okay, she said her lawyers are handling it. Well, I'm glad to see that you're okay, and thank you for. That was last. What time last year was this?
It was November. Yeah.
Well, thank you for accommodating us. Thank you. All right. Well, she said it. I'm gonna be just if you didn't. Let me just reiterate what she said. That a particular vendor was selling sweets or something, cigarettes and stuff on by RM Plaza there, which forced her to walk around him, and the area she walked was pretty slippery with moss and so forth. And she slipped and she fell and she broke her hand. Right. So at the end of the day, you heard it. They might say, "Oh, the mayor trying to paint this dark cloud over our trade." It's not about that, because right now there's a dark cloud over her hand because how it got broken because of the same issues that were raised by the mayor. So please, all we're saying is let's uphold the law of the land, not your law, God's law of the land. All right.
All this is free, but you're trying to filter into that lane there. You have to drive smart, drive smart.
That's another thing we do. We have some very interesting drivers in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, it is. These vans here, I'd like to know what the purpose, what they're doing. Right?
What is just a drop off and leave?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, I think they are supplying to materials to vendors, right? Right, that's what I think what it is. So we need to ask them,
No one is in these vehicles. Again, no. So all three vehicles, there are no drivers. So.
Right, and this is also contributing to the congestion.
All right, classic example here, Nicholas. This car parked up outside of the loading bay. So there you have it. So which now is forcing the cars now to divert to the right. And Loading Bay is right behind him. It's free, clear. Again, I either paint it over pink or some sort of fluorescent color. Maybe, as I said, paint over our minds. Need to renew our minds. Oh my God. So,
Stay for a while and just observe how it's done.
all right. So, Nick, let's keep a look at this vehicle. He's now pulling off. And it was there before we pulled up. So that's at least probably 3 to 4 minutes thereabout. That particular driver would have caused obstruction to the free flow of traffic on High Street, San Fernando.
Traffic flowing a little more now. Even the truck at the corner there is not supposed to be there.
You know, people need to understand that every little drop of water in the bucket fills the bucket. So every little act of, of consciousness and sensitivity and wisdom will actually see an overflow of free flow and overflow, of course, of good relations.
There you go.
You know?
There you go. Right? When he could have pulled aside and he's picking up a passenger now.
And what's so funny, she's an elderly lady, so it actually make more sense to me to pull on the side and not have her walking so much. So she now has to walk extra. So that's what I'm saying. So where is he? All you care about is making your dollar, because look. Oh my God. Because she could have walked a shorter distance. Yeah. Lord help us. Let's go. So he made her walk even a further distance. We need to be more. We need to have. It is not a, progress does not work without considering people. So no matter how much money you try to make, progress doesn't make sense without the heart for people. Yeah. So we have another example. So we have this trolley here, and what we're saying is that again, it's in the right spot. Once you pull into the loading bay, it makes life easier for everyone.
But if we're not here, this will go to the end right there. The car will stop there. The car will come out and the loading process takes place. Yeah. You don't see that. So there you go. Can you continue?
Let's look at the taxi drivers now. Now I received some information.
Traffic wardens as well and hear the views and thoughts on them. But the traffic warden, you're giving a pedestrian a ticket. Giving a pedestrian a ticket.
No, sir.
How are you doing? Well, we're doing a tour with the mayor this morning about the new traffic plan. As a traffic warden, what are your thoughts on it? Has it been effective? And also, how have been people responding to it based on being out here daily?
Well, a couple of folks now getting accustomed to it because on the short street this morning, a guy attempted to go down street. Remember, it used to be downward, right? But so he didn't see the no entry, so we had to stop him suddenly and get him to reverse to go the right way. But generally, people have mixed emotion about it, but there are not generally much complaints, right? So it has been mixed emotion, mixed reactions.
But for the most part, people are willing to see it through and to see how it works.
I want to believe so.
Marabella's taxi stand is now on Pondepe Road, opposite Pennywise. The Couva stand now is on the Upper High Street, opposite the Public Bank. You have the Curab cars, taxis, encroaching on the Couva stand sometimes. And even Port of Spain cars. And then these cars are 9-seaters and 8-seaters and 7-seaters. So they're pretty big, and that's a problem that we have to really manage. And I really want to thank the traffic warden for the job they have been doing. Also, we have removed the food vendors, the market vendors, who come with the trolleys. We stopped that on Monday. So you ever see there are no presence of any market vendors here this morning. That has been stopped. So we really appreciate your input and your contribution in making sure that Library Corner in particular stays clear and free from those cars who impede the traffic and also encroach the taxi drivers and their particular route.
Quick question to the what's your name, please?
Yes, sir. Dion Lopez, traffic
All right.
1023 Lopez.
She gave me her number officially. Yes, sir. All right, good. In terms of the marble taxi stand, I was walking. I just overheard some, passengers were talking about how some of the cars try to be on the curb itself. Have you all had challenges to deal with that, or it has been okay for the most part?
It has been okay for most of the while. The taxi drivers are actually happy that they're there.
They are? Okay.
Because it's easier for them in terms of moving off, and just a few have a little problem with reversing. So I think we need to reverse.
Exactly. I think somebody had reverse on the curb, and it caused a difficulty for the other cars on Hatch to make it.
Reversing, but other than that, they are pleased. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Yes, they are pleased. A number of them say that they are pleased with where they are. All right. Yeah.
Personally, I'm most pleased with the movement of the Port of Spain stand to where they are now. I'm most pleased with that.
That's the last one to do, and that will help a lot. So they are positive. The removal of the Port of Spain stand, the removal of the Cuba stand and the Marble stand. You're getting positive response from the public, from the passengers, and from the taxi drivers.
No, I want to thank you so very much for your time. Right, and I hope to never get a ticket from any one of you all. Right, wonderful. So. Yeah, no problem. While we're here now, I heard, and again you can confirm, that there have been reports of alleged reports of drivers removing the yellow barriers, right? The yellow barriers from High Street, which part, of course, they may allocate to park. Is this very true? And how are you all dealing with it as a corporation?
What we did is that was before the relocation of the Port of Spain drivers. So it was really a mad rush and a fight between Port of Spain, Chaguanas, and Curab to get to the top of High Street, because the passengers come to top of High, assembled there. So you want to get on top there. So they were bantering, they were badgering, they were friendship arrangement to allow your friends to come in the line. So you had all those sort of irregularities, and of course they plundered the barriers.
Now we have these 7-seaters, of course, which will now minimize the spacing for cars to come. We have more and more cars now of these 7-seaters.
In discussion, we got the Port of Spain cars to go on opposite Eden Center from Harris Promenade. The Port of Spain cars are there, free up. Bring up Chaguanas some more, followed by Curab. But then you have over 100 and something cars operating. Our check, based on our consultation, that there are 921 cars operating out of San Fernando, official cars, taxis, operating out of San Fernando. And then we only have limited space, and it's in this hub of the city. So you have High Street, Harris Promenade, Library Corner to accommodate 921 vehicles. That's a lot of we could be talking about.
We will deal with the whole issue of the Port of Spain tax stand on the promenade in terms of school. We go up there to let people know what's happening. But I just have one suggestion, Mayor. I'm looking at the no entry sign, and you guys put the entry sign there for me. Could it be suggested that the no entry sign probably shifted a little more to the outwards? Because again, there are those who are not familiar with the change, and it's kind of on the inside.
Ongoing exercise. We started with 2 weeks, then we extended for further 2 weeks. And we have traffic management meeting with us at 1 o'clock today. So coming out of this meeting this morning and this interaction with the public and even with you and feedback, there are some very positive and very tangible and cogent suggestions that we could apply. And one of them is to bring that sign further out, more visible, like where the no entry sign or the no parking sign is, right alongside.
But I love the idea coming on the High Street, but I know there are some who may not see that sign there.
Because, for instance, they're saying, okay, you don't want to come on High Street, and you come down Penitent Street, then you go straight across Penitent Street, High Street and Penitent Street, and you could exit on San Fernando Street, Chacon Street, and go up that area there. So you don't have to come up here. So why would you come up here if you're going out of San Fernando? If you have to come up here, well then you deal with the consequences. It has to be a win-win situation. But the challenge is to get into San Fernando, then you have that whole Library Corner, which is a major intersection. Everybody converges and assembles in that corner there. So it seems to be working, and you have to continue fixing it as we go along to get it perfect. And we have our senior officers this morning, they're coming up as well, back up to this, to do their own inspection and get a perspective of what the challenges are as we look at enforcing the law and reinforcing as we go along.
Quickly touch on, we mentioned this on the show last week, and as I looked across at Kusha, as you mentioned, there was this incident with the robbery, just as a diversion just for a bit, where there's some jewelry. So I think it's more on this side, right, where they have the displays on the outside. And again, we must take responsibility as well for our actions. As sad as it is to be robbed, we cannot, leave room, as to say, for Gucci to run in Trini Palace, right? So.
Because look at that display right there, that's jewelry. And you have Short Street there, there are various tracks you can do, or Carlton Center right there. So you snatch there, you run through that crowd there. Tiny police assembly, they can't find you.
Understood.